Have you ever truly wondered whether your dog understands the love you feel for him? Not the love spoken in human words, but the love expressed through gestures, silences, glances, and touches. The kind that echoes through the canine world, like an ancient, nearly forgotten language, yet deeply felt. And what if I told you that everything you believe you know about showing affection to your furry companion is only scratching the surface of something much deeper? Something that goes beyond petting, food, or even the daily walk? A hidden code of connection written millennia ago between wolves and humans? How many times have you thought you were being kind, yet unknowingly invaded a sacred space? Or imagined that a simple treat was enough to say, "I love you," when in reality it was the timing, the gaze, the silence between fingers gently stroking his head that carried the true weight of the feeling? Many owners speak to their dogs as if translating from human to canine. But the real bond is born when you learn to listen in their language. And this isn't metaphorical. It's scientific, biological, chemical. Think about it. How often have you interpreted a wagging tail as pure happiness, without considering that, in certain contexts, it could be your dog's desperate attempt to communicate with a world he doesn't control? We are emotional giants to them, creatures who carry meaning. In every step, every word, every breath, meanings that transcend reason. And yet, how often do we ignore the clues they leave right in front of us, waiting for someone to decode? There is a secret language between species, an invisible dance of hormones, movements, and intentions. A fixed stare can be an invitation to connect or a silent threat. A lick may be submission or a plea. A growl isn't always anger. Sometimes it's fear. And more often than not, true love manifests in such subtle ways that they go unnoticed by those who insist on seeing through human eyes. But what if you could see through their eyes? Understand what it really means to be present for your dog? Today, we're going to reveal 5 scientific ways to show love to your dog, but not in the way you imagine. These 5 methods aren't just actions, they're rituals, gateways to a deeper, more visceral, more authentic understanding. Each one has been studied, proven, lived, and each one can change forever how you perceive that deep gaze, that soft whimper, that whole body shaking with excitement when he sees you come home. Are you ready to understand love in a new light? Because your dog already does. He's just waiting for you to finally understand. There is a silence that only dogs understand. A silence that isn't absence, but total presence. The kind of quiet, where breath weighs more than words, where a fixed gaze lasts an eternity and says everything. Have you ever stood before that silence? Before that deep canine stare, as if it were looking inside you, beyond you, and at the same time reflecting, something you didn't even know you carried? What if I told you that look isn't just curiosity or affection, that it's a silent question, thrown out by a creature without human language, yet one who understands, better than many people, the weight of your emotions? Have you ever touched your dog thinking it was just a gesture of affection, without realizing that every finger running down his back carries meanings far beyond touch? There is a moment when the hand hesitates, almost imperceptibly, before stroking. A brief instant, nearly invisible, when you choose between mechanical touch and true connection. Between being present and merely being there. How many times have you done that without realizing you were saying, "I love you," with your fingertips? But perhaps not in the right way. Their way. Know this, there is a science behind touch, and it's not about muscles or nerves, but about connection. About how the human and canine bodies can exchange energy without uttering a single word. And when you look into his eyes, how many times did you think it was just a casual movement, a fleeting glance? But what if that gaze was an invitation to enter another world? A world where time doesn't rush, where language doesn't need translation, where love is felt in the molecules of air, In the surge of oxytocin, neither of you can see, but both can feel. Science confirms it. There is a chemical bond between you, an invisible bond strengthened by the right gaze at the right moment with the right intention. But it can also break with the wrong gaze, with a stare too invasive, with attention that feels like pressure. Have you ever seen fear appear in your dog's eyes during eye contact and ignored it or listened? Now, think about the journeys you take together, the ones where he feels part of something bigger, the wind hitting his face, the rhythm of the road beneath his paws, the scent of adventure in the air. He's not just along for the ride. He's alive in it, fully. And yet, how often do we reduce these moments to routine, failing to recognize the joy, the trust, the unspoken gratitude embedded in every leap into the car, every eager nose poking out the window? Maybe it's time to stop speaking and start sensing, to let go of assumptions and open ourselves to a truth older than civilization itself, that love between species isn't learned, it's remembered, hidden in every heartbeat, every shared breath, every silent moment when a dog looks at you not as a pet, but as a partner, as an equal, as family. So ask yourself again, do you truly know how to love your dog? Or are you just beginning to understand what it means to be understood by him? The smell coming through the window, the gentle sway of the car. To you, it's just a ride. To him, it's a ritual of belonging. Every kilometer traveled is a subtle message. You are part of this. But what if that experience is more than just passing fun? What if the wind's caress, the background music, even the sound of the engine are mentally translated by him as, "Today, I'm being taken somewhere meaningful." Because yes, he understands. He knows. He knows he's being included in your life, and that is far more powerful than any toy or food. That is belonging. And to belong is the greatest expression of love a dog can receive. What about playtime? Those moments when you throw the ball and he runs like he's chasing an ancient dream? You laugh, he comes back panting, happy. But have you ever stopped to think that for him, it's not just a game, it's communication, language, a physical, mental, and emotional dialogue. Every time he grabs the ball and returns, he's saying, "I understood what you meant." And every time you praise him, smile, or give him a treat, he registers it as a victory, an achievement, something that deserves dopamine, the reward hormone. But it's also more than that. It's recognition, validation, proof that he exists for you, and that his existence is celebrated. All of this emotional and chemical exchange happens without words, only through a small, colorful, round object flying through the air, always returning. Training, then. Have you ever thought that teaching commands is much more than obedience? That it's an act of care, respect, and mutual emotional intelligence? When you use positive reinforcement, you're not just training, you're communicating. Building. A shared vocabulary based on safety, clarity, and predictability. Your dog doesn't want orders. He wants to understand. He wants to know what to do in order to feel safe, loved, and useful. And every learned command is a new sentence in that secret language only those who truly love can comprehend. And when he does what was asked, and you smile, you praise, you touch, he's not just receiving a prize, he's decoding love in the language you finally started to speak. And treats. Oh, the treats. Have you ever given him a little piece of food thinking it was just a favor, without realizing you were actually sealing an emotional agreement? Each snack is a promise, a guarantee that you are here, present, paying attention, and more than that you remember him, that he matters, that he is special. Science says dogs learn better through rewards than punishment. But what science doesn't say is that these rewards are tiny memories. Small, repeated moments that accumulate and form the entire story of love between you. And so, with each bite, he stores something inside himself. He remembered me. He saw me. He valued me. And walks. Have you noticed how excited he gets when he hears the leash? How his eyes sparkle? How he seems to rejuvenate, even if it's been an ordinary day? After all, for him, the street isn't just asphalt and sidewalks. It's the universe. Mystery, discovery. Each step is a sensory investigation. Each lamppost, a novel. Each leaf, a whisper from the world. And you are the guide, the guardian, the companion. And walking side by side without saying a word, you're writing an invisible poem. One made of paws and shoes, smells, and silences. And even without words, he understands. He understands he's living something beyond a simple walk. He's living connection. What about boundaries? Have you ever respected your dog's space without feeling guilty? Without thinking? Maybe you were abandoning him. But what if, by giving him space, you were actually speaking the deepest language of love? The language of respect, trust, freedom. Your dog has bad days, moments of tiredness, insecurity. And in those times, he doesn't need affection. He needs silence. He needs you, but from a distance. And when you understand that, when you see his tail lowered, his ears pulled back, and you choose to stay quiet, you're showing that you understand, that you listen, that you respect, and for him, that is love in its purest form. What about feeding time? Have you ever considered that each meal is a declaration of care? It's not just food, it's energy, health, longevity. It's the fuel that allows him to stay by your side for years and years. Each portion served is a conscious choice. You want him to live well, strong, full of life. And behind that choice lies a deep emotional decision. You don't want to lose him. You want him there every day, waiting for you, barking when you arrive, licking your hand when you're sad. And by making sure he eats well, you're saying, you deserve to live well. And the vet. Have you ever taken your dog to the doctor thinking it was just routine? But what if each visit was a silent promise of protection? A way of saying, I know, that you can't take care of yourself alone, and I accept that. I know you depend on me, and I embrace that responsibility. Taking your dog to the vet is a way of saying, I see you, I know you can get sick, and I will be there to stop it from happening. It's an act of love that goes beyond affection. It's commitment, a conscious choice to care, even when it hurts, even when he's scared, even when you're scared. Every touch, every glance, every game, every caress, every choice, they all add up to a single direction, to a single feeling. And this feeling doesn't need to be spoken. It's felt, quietly pulsing between you, invisible, chemical, visceral, and even without words, it echoes, vibrates, transforms, and as you keep watching, perhaps, just perhaps, you're starting to understand that true love isn't said. It's lived, felt, translated, understood, answered, and then, did you understand? Not what I said, but what he always knew. Love isn't a word to him. It's a gesture, an extended gaze, a hand that touches with intention, a trip without a specific destination, as long as he's by your side. It's respecting his moment of silence when he asks for it, the conscious choice of food that nourishes more than just the body, the way you lean down to pet him, not out of habit, but by choice. Every action you repeat with awareness becomes a promise that he exists, that he matters, that he belongs. All of this, everything you've done so far, was written in the language of your movements, in the way you breathe near him, how you smile when he comes running, how you miss him when he falls asleep too early, and without even knowing it, You were already speaking this ancient language. You just needed someone to tell you, yes, you already knew. You only needed to hear that in every small act, there was an entire universe of love contained within. And now, with this knowledge, with this awareness, you can't go back. You can't pretend you didn't see, didn't understand, didn't feel. Because real love isn't given, it's lived in every carefully served meal, in every shared walk, in every game that makes both of you laugh, even if he has no words, even if you have to translate the sound of happiness yourself. He's there every day, teaching you how to love better, not with words, with patience, with presence, with loyalty, with a steady gaze that says more than 1,000 human phrases. And now, you hold the key to respond in the same language, to say, I love you, without opening your mouth, to speak in the right tone, at the right rhythm, at the right time. And maybe, just maybe, the greatest lesson wasn't about him. It was about you, about who you became while trying to figure out how to show love. Because by learning to speak his language, you also relearned how to feel your own. And that, no one can ever take away from you. That will continue echoing even after the screen fades, even after you close the video, even after the world returns to its usual noise. Inside you, something changed, something remained, something awakened. Now, if this journey touched something real inside you, show that it doesn't end here. Like the video, not out of impulse but as a sincere acknowledgement that something true passed through you. Leave a comment. Even if it's just to remind yourself that you watched this, that you changed a little today. Share it with someone who loves a dog, or with someone who needs to remember what it means to love deeply. And subscribe. Not because we asked, but because you want to be here next time another hidden truth surfaces. Because now, you are part of this. Part of what cannot be seen, but can always be felt.